Yo, what's going on, guys? Tony here. Welcome back to another discussion video. I've kind of been enjoying doing these ones more recently. I don't know, it's just kind of fun to talk about things, and it really promotes the engagement with you guys, and I like hearing what you guys have to say in the comments as well. But from this title, basically what we're talking about is obviously For Honor needs balancing. We obviously know that, and we obviously know in the form of characters that it's a pretty big thing that they need, right? They definitely need to have character balancing for different moves and stuff just to make everyone on par with that. Not going to deny that, but there's also a lot of other things that need to get fixed in this game personally, and I think that some of this stuff is kind of ridiculous in the fact that it hasn't been fixed. I know some of the things, like one thing I'm not going to mention in this is going to be indicators, like external indicators just not showing up if you're getting ganked or whatever, and then you just get hit by the attack because you're trying to focus on a bunch of other people hitting you. And they've said it's a pretty complex thing to fix. I'll take their word for it. Obviously, it's annoying to deal with. Yes, I know, but I'll take their word that it's kind of difficult to fix something as complex, quote unquote, as that situation. But I am just going to talk through a couple other things that I think are in the game that probably should be addressed but aren't getting addressed. And obviously, not some of these I wouldn't say are quote unquote game breaking. I mean, some of them are, some of them aren't, and are just more like other nuances that are just really annoying but have been here since like day one and should really get fixed. But I'm just going to go through things, and obviously there's going to be certain things I miss. If you want me to do like a follow-up video where I talk about more things, you guys can let me know in the comments below. But without further ado, let's just talk about some of the things that aren't character balancing that need to get changed in For Honor. First off, we'll go ahead and talk about fucking ladders, dude. All right? I don't understand ladders in this game. I don't know if there's if it's a weird thing with coding, which I don't think there should be, right? I'm sure they've coded like Assassin's Creed and stuff. They probably know how to make a ladder work, but anytime you try to run to a ladder and get on it, for some reason it just doesn't you kind of get sucked into it, and then it pushes you back off, and you try to go down, it doesn't work, and sometimes you get that weird climbing on the invisible ladder glitch, which is obviously really annoying. And if you're trying to get maybe away onto a point to heal up a little bit before someone chases after you, and you get stuck on a ladder right there, that's a big feels bad, man, and definitely is really annoying. I think ladders are super broken and always have been, honestly. Ladders have always been pretty bad as long as I can remember. I mean, I think past, before dedicated servers even came out, those ladders were still an issue. So it's going on at least over a year to where ladders have been, sometimes they just don't work. Going up ladders I think is fine, but going down ladders is the biggest issue, and I just don't understand why it actually happens. It's very strange indeed. Another thing, this one's kind of more of a game breaking glitch, I guess. I'm not exactly sure 100% on how this one actually happens, but I've had it happen multiple times to me in streams. And what I think it is if you go into if you're on in a game lobby and for some reason you get to the main menu, that overlay, that whole UI where it shows content of the week or discounted items, all that stuff, and where it shows multiplayer, arcade mode, training, gets stuck on your screen, which is really annoying because you can still navigate on that, but you can't obviously go to any of the things. You can't go to multiplayer on any of that, and it just stays on your screen, and you can't actually perform any actions in game with it on there. So you essentially just have to leave the game. You can't throw any attacks because you're basically have the UI from the home screen overlaid onto your game, which is definitely game breaking because it causes the person to have to leave. And obviously, if they try to get it to get away or something, maybe they leave, they get a 15-minute matchmaking penalty or something, which kind of sucks if they're not able to get it done in the first 30 seconds of the game. And that's one that I think is pretty bizarre. I think that's kind of an interesting one on how that works. I'm pretty sure it's just you need to fix the coding for when a user is in a lobby and redirects himself to the actual menu screen, and you be able to do that. I feel like it's a fixable thing. I don't know too much about coding, but that's just my 2 cents on that. The next thing that I want to talk about is this one is actually a character-based thing, and then it kind of stems into a different discussion. So, Tiandi is a character, right? This is especially annoying for actually, 1v1 duels. If you get a heavy parry punish with Tiandi, you can actually unlock and get 2 lights from it and get 29 damage. and that has been in the game ever since the character came out in October. It hasn't really been addressed. I think all unlock tech, especially, you know, like, not, I'll say unlock tech, not to the extent where, like, if you're in a Dominion game and, like, there's multiple people and let's say you lock on someone behind and it actually will hit through onto the other people, I actually don't mind that too much. I think that's an interesting concept on how to fight in the game, and I think that one's relatively interesting. So I wouldn't say like that, but anything that you could use in like a 1v1 scenario to kind of gain like an quote-unquote unfair advantage really should be looked at. And this has obviously been shown by people. I think even Freeze made a video about it, and I'm pretty sure Draza might have made a video on it as well, showing off like that you can do the double lights on that. And obviously we had that huge issue with unlock tech in the beginning, and we thought it had all been fixed, but there's still little cases of, like, you know, unlock tech being in there, like slippy tech with Nobushi. That's really, really bad stuff that shouldn't be in the game, but it still is. So it definitely needs to get patched, because that just kind of ruins the experience for other people when, you know, an exploit is still, you know, able to be used in the game. Because, you know, honestly, if you're in a high stress situation, maybe you're playing ranked or something, and you can get 29 damage off of a heavy parry versus 15, I think you're going to take the 29. So that needs to get fixed as well. Now, another thing that we can talk about too is that you can still fall through the map on Forge. At least I don't know if there's any other maps that do this, but on Forge it seems to be the highest number of people doing it, and it's mostly around the sea point. You can basically just fall through the map. You can fall through on the bridge to sea. I've fallen through on the map in that like little like kind of bridge behind the lava forge area with everything, and I've seen, you know, multiple teammates do it as well on just different areas of the map. You can still fall through that, which I don't understand why. It's just like there's something in the code to where like certain instances it's just not solid and you just fall through it, which doesn't really make much sense. And in addition to this, you know, you can also get out of the map extremely easily on Beachhead. You can get onto the ship, and you can just literally go into the water. Like, one of the easiest things to do is literally, if you're in that spawn that spawns near the ships in the water, you literally just need to walk in between like these little like planks of wood, and you're underwater, which is really crazy. I actually went up against a shaman who had, you know, the stealth feed or whatever, and just went underneath the water at the end of the game. It took us a while to actually find her, but then once we went in there, it was really weird. So it's like, why hasn't that been patched? Because I think you just need to add an extra point of collision on there, so like, you know, your map isn't opened right there. It's just like the one simple area, and it's not even like you have to do some crazy thing to get into it. It's simply I walked into it, which is, you know, really annoying to see as well, that, you know, you can get out of bounds, you know, with almost no, like, if it's like some super complex way to get out of bounds, like, you know, you have to hit start, you have to go outside, you have to grab a snowball, you have to go inside, put it inside of your computer, turn it off, put your computer in the microwave. Like, I understand that's a pretty complex glitch that happens, and that one might take a little bit more time to fix, but when you can simply just walk out of the map, that's probably an issue. And I think they recently patched the one on Temple Garden where you can like Oni charge or Warden charge off of the bridge at sea to get on the little island part, and you can actually fight on there as well. I'm pretty sure that one's been patched, and I'm not 100% sure if there's any other maps in the game to where the same thing happens, but definitely getting out of bounds is something that needs to be patched in the game and shouldn't be too difficult if I'm thinking about it. Now, the next thing is going to be, this is more of not like a game-breaking thing, it's just more of an annoyance and really, really dumb. Like the UI, I'm pretty sure most people have talked about for ever since the game came out. Like, the UI is really, really bad, especially in 4v4 modes, and when breaking, things just cover up your screen. I don't think that would be too difficult of a change. Like, you just need to make so these icons aren't massive and cover up your screen. Like, when someone dies, it'll put like a massive skull on your screen, and I've had that instances. I'm pretty sure even one of the games that I recorded for this video, to where it just pops up on the screen and you can't actually see what's going on in front of you. So they definitely need to fix some of that UI. I know they've redone the UI like outside of the game, like on the main menu and stuff, and I think that looks better and everything, but within the game, the UI should really be fixed as well, because it just takes up way too much of your screen and like blocks you out, and all the breaking icons. It's just really, really annoying to deal with. That might be more of like a personal preference thing. Some of you guys might not be too upset by it, and it's probably not as high on their priority list, I guess, because it's not quote unquote game breaking or anything. It works fine as is, but it's really annoying to actually deal with when it actually happens. So that's another thing that I would like to see changed. Now these last two don't happen as frequently, but they're still annoying nonetheless and could be kind of game breaking. There's some instances, right, where you just don't gain revenge in fights. I've had many instances of when I'm streaming and I'm in like a 1v3 and I'm like, I've parried maybe like 4 attacks. I've been blocking, you know, so definitely, you know, I've ate a couple bashes and I still have maybe like half health or something. And it's definitely the area that constitutes revenge. And obviously I'm not looking at the revenge bar while I'm trying to fight. And I've had people just say, your revenge literally didn't go up a single tick that entire time. And that's definitely something that's pretty annoying. That's happened on many occasions. You know, I don't always check, you know, when the revenge is building up, you know, how that works. But like many times, if you're in a 1v3 scenario and you're getting hit, you know, pretty much every single second, you're countering guard breaks, you're getting hit by bashes and everything, you should be getting revenge. And the fact that sometimes you just don't gain revenge at all is one probably really infuriating to actually happen. And I'll be like, sometimes like I'm just have no idea why I didn't get revenge, and then someone else in the game, you know, like is in a 1v1 with me. I hit them like 5 times and they get revenge, and it just makes me think like, what happens? Because that's, you know, definitely in ganks, that's the most effective way, you know, is to kind of turtle up a little bit, get revenge. And if you just don't simply get it at all, you're gonna lose those 1v1s or those 1v3s, those 1v2s, pretty much all the time, which really sucks. And then this final thing is something, again, that is quite annoying. I've had it happen multiple times. I don't know if it only happens for the 4th feat or if it's other feats in between. Don't quote me on this, I think I had it one time where it actually happened even on my 2nd feat, which is even more annoying. But sometimes you just don't get your feats. Like, you get the amount of renown that you actually need to, but it still shows your feats as being locked. I had this happen, I think, many times. I think the one most recently I did on stream or something, I was playing Shigoki, and I was trying to clear minions because I was like, okay, we need to try to I need to throw my arrow storm down so we can try to take back a B and then put the other team in breaking. And I cleared minions. I got my my renown bar all the way up. It was maxed, like I couldn't increase it anymore, and I got no feat. So wasn't able to use it, and I'm pretty sure we actually ended up losing that because we weren't able to put the team in breaking when I could have just, like, you know, thrown that arrow storm down and cleared all the minions, which really annoyed me. But that, again, I'm not sure why that happens, and I feel like that's definitely a thing that they should be able to fix, you know, to where, like, your renown just sometimes just doesn't go through. Obviously, if it's something that's, you know, most of the time feats do come through, so maybe it's just something that's kind of hard to reproduce, which I understand the first way of, like, troubleshooting any bugs or stuff in the game is that, you know, you have to be able to reproduce it and find out what the root cause of it is. But having instances like that is really, you know, really kind of annoying to deal with. And the whole reason I kind of am saying this video is that, you know, although we do need a lot of character balances and stuff, there's still a lot of things in the game just alone with the gameplay. If you took out all the characters, that would still be kind of broken, and I think that we still need to address as well and kind of put these high on the priority list as well. I know obviously people want their reworks on characters, and believe me, I do too. You know, Shigoki takes fucking damage extra when he has no hyper armor, which you know, that's a different story, but I definitely think that these things should be looked at and as a high priority. And even if they're not game breaking, things that just improve the quality of life of the game are obviously going to be better for players and old players who just, you know, kind of fell out with the game because they didn't like what was going on. But these are just kind of my 2 cents on some of the things that, you know, brought up. I literally thought of these ideas in like maybe 5 to 10 minutes, and that's just, you know, this is just a handful of things that were kind of already wrong with the game. So, you know, obviously I'm sure there's other things that I'm missing, and you guys can let me know in the comments, or again, like I said in the beginning, if you want me to make another video, I can try to do that as well. But you know, leave your feedback down below. Do you think that we need to look at this type of balancing as well, or do you think simply character balancing is what needs to happen first and foremost, and then we can figure out all this other stuff in between, like the unlock tech, the feats not being there, revenge not working, you know, ladders being all messed up, the UI, all that stuff. So let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, been your boy Tony. I will talk to you in the next one. Peace.